Good evening and welcome to ABS TV News. Making the headlines tonight, NDLEA arraigned 13 persons for marijuana possession in Oka. 70 indigent students received scholarships for university education from Victor Ume Education Foundation. Senate orders Police Senate Committee on Judiciary to investigate Deji Adeyin-John's rearrest. And on the foreign scene, a miracle arrest suspect connected with murder of 2 foreign tourists. My name is Chidimma Orangwa, and now the detail of the news. 13 persons suspected to be in possession of various quantities of cannabis sativa, popularly known as marijuana, have been arraigned before a federal high court sitting in Oka by the Anambra State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. The arraigned suspects, all males, who 4 out of the number pleaded not guilty to the crime, were said to be apprehended with the illegal substance at different locations in the state. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe was at the court session and now reports.
The presiding judge, Justice Nicholas Weibo, ordered that 2 of the suspects be cancelled by the NDLEA and released because of the small quantity, less than 10 grams, of the substance found in their possession, while some others were granted bail with a sum of 2 million naira and 2 shorties of like sum each, one of whom must be a civil servant not below grade level 8, while the other must have evidence of tax payment for the past 3 years. The head of the legal department of the agency, Barrister Patrick Eshwa, said the arraignment was aimed at clearing the agency cells with respect to Christmas and noted that the expedition of the legal processes will enable the organization to work on preceding enforcement.
These people were arrested by elders of their communities because they have constituted themselves into a nuisance within that environment, and so they brought them. So we were of the view, and rightly too, that they should come to court. The judge too used his own discretion. Now, he asked them to go back to NDLEA for counseling, not because they are not committed offense. They just looked at the quantity, and more so that they are first offenders. So has given these people that opportunity to go back to NDLEA for counseling and then to be discharged from them. Thank you.
On his part, the defense counsel to 3 of the accused persons, 2 of whom were given order for release, Barrister Lanre Adetumobi, said the judgment of the court was satisfactorily in line with the best legal ruling and pledged that the released persons will be duly cancelled.
The court is moving much towards rehabilitation of the offenders. One was found with 9.2 grams, another with less than 10 grams. The court is of the opinion that what they need at that point, which is at the beginning of the stage of finding themselves in possession of cannabis sativa, is for them to be counseled by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and be released within 48 hours. I also have a case of one of them withdrawn in court because there was no evidence to substantiate the charge against him.
The court adjourned to different dates in January, February, and March of next year for hearing and presentation of facts against those who pleaded guilty to the crime. Meanwhile, the state commandant of the agency, Mr. Sule Momodu, said the agency is tightening its grips on drug mongers, emphasizing that the organization remains pragmatic in ensuring a drug-free Anambra state, especially as the Xmas draws closer.
We decided to put them where they belong. They belong where we have sent them to. This is a clear message to those who are also doing it that in this period, if you are doing it, we will come after you and we will arraign you. You will spend Christmas in the prison. You will not spend Christmas with your family. We want to make sure that those who are dealing in drugs don't have the opportunity of enjoying the profit of their business.
In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
An independent political support group, One and One Nigeria, has called for support to realize President Muhammadu Buhari's second-term agenda and said it is the ultimate solution to the Igbo involvement in national polity. The group made the call at a World Media Conference held at Godwin Ezemo International Press Center, Oka. Correspondent Blessing Uchendu, who was at the press briefing, filed in the story, taken from our studios.
The group
group, led by its national leader, Chief Chido Obidiegu, said the dream of Igbo presidency is hinged on absolute support to the present administration, noting that it has embarked on a massive campaign to convince Igbo to re-elect the president and give the region a chance to national relevance. Highlighting the place of the region before the emergence of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, the group argued that the southeast region of the country has been shortchanged in national politics and said the achievements of the present regime in vast areas of governance has shown its consciousness to the plight of the nation.
President, we are an independent organization that believe in Igbo presidency in the next 4 years. That is my response to that. That could be other interests, but more than any other interest that I have, and those of us in one Nigeria have, is achieving Igbo presidency faster. And as far as we are concerned, the safest, the fastest route to Igbo presidency as we speak today is affiliation and working assiduously, dedicatedly, vigorously. Social intervention platforms have been enunciated to touch the lives of the ordinary citizens of Nigeria and provide employment for the youth of Nigeria via the Empower school feeding program, monthly equipment for indigent people, parents club refund, bill for state governments, and borrowers fund, Bank of Agriculture and industry loans to MSMEs, traders money, and a host of others. And 3 heavy chairs to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, CCFR,
It added that it was already on course in the execution of several plans of action in the 1,695 local government areas and 15 senatorial districts in the zone and parts of Delta and Rivers State, calling for strong backing from all quarters to ensure resounding victory in 2019.
70 indigent students selected from the 7 local government areas that make up Anambra Central Senatorial District have received scholarships to study at any university of their choice. The scholarship is a program under Senator Victor May Education Foundation set up to help brilliant but indigent students. ABS correspondent Ngozi Obileri covered the event at the Anocha local government headquarters, Nini. Her reports.
The event was attended by traditional rulers from the area, Abga chieftains, parents of the beneficiaries, and many others. Addressing the gathering, Senator Ume, sponsored the scholarship program, which stands at the tune of 7 million naira, announced that 31 youths will be empowered with tricycles this week. Chief Ume said that apart from the 70 beneficiaries who received a check of 100,000 naira each to study in any university, polytechnic, and colleges of education in Nigeria, about 250 students are in various tertiary institutions under Victor Ume Tertiary Education Foundation. He said that 40 physical projects will be cited in all the communities in the senatorial district, adding that the 2019 constituency projects will be attracted as soon as the federal government disburses funds for the program.
It's complementing the existing foundation. They will be working, they will be operating together so that will continue to happen. Right now, we have over 250 students in the university, in the existing foundation. So add 70 now. There's nothing I can do for my people than to help to reduce their burdens and problems. That's what I have come here to do. So I thank everybody that has come here today.
Chief Umeku said that the scholarship will last for as long as the duration of their courses they are studying. Also announced that he will flag off women empowerment by January next year, as he is waiting for the government to release the 50 million naira approved for him for the program. Earlier, the Transition Committee Chairman for Anocha Council Area, Mr. Ikobi Ejiofor, who is the chairman of the committee that selected beneficiaries for the scholarship, appreciated Senator Ume for touching the lives of indigent persons, recalling that 151 youths were trained in various skills last month, courtesy of Senator Ume.
We are all aware that Ohamadike, over the years, over 10 years now, have been giving scholarships to students both in secondary school, university, postgraduate studies, across communities, not just in Anambra Central, in the entire Anambra State and beyond.
Some of the beneficiaries, Valentine Ezane and Ifunanya Ebubechukwu, among others, expressed profound gratitude to Senator Ume for helping them achieve their goal of quality education in life and promised not to disappoint him.
I'm happy today. This man that came here, Dr. Chief Ume, have helped us now in all aspects of our life in education. Now we have the boldness to go further, to take the first step in education. Because unlike before, without him, it was very hard for us. Most of us cannot afford so much of the handout they are giving on the school.
Wow, it will help me a lot because we have suffered of paying my school fees for the 100 level that I have schooled before. But I thank God for Ohamadike for supporting us, for remembering the poor this year. It's really, I'm very grateful for today. Today is a special day in my life.
The event climaxed with presentation of checks to each of the beneficiaries. From Anocha Council Secretariat, Neni, I am Ngozi Obileri for ABS News.
Over 700 graduates from Wafo Rizzi College of Education in Suwe have been awarded with Nigerian Certificate in Education (NCE), and 96 others awarded Professional Diploma in Education (PDE) by the college. The event, which took place at the college convocation arena, attracted academics and government functionaries in the state. Njido Okoye has the report.
Congratulating the graduates, Governor Willie Obiano charged them to be good ambassadors of the college and apply all they have learned for the growth of education in the state. Governor Obiano, who was represented by the Commissioner for Tertiary and the Science Education, Professor Theresa Obiekeze, announced the approval of construction of perimeter fencing for the college to avoid unnecessary encroachment and the construction of roads inside the college, saying that work will soon commence.
I'm here today to thank the parents of our graduates for laboring, toiling to make up and sponsor their kids to this institution. I understand how difficult it is, and I know some of you go empty, sleep without food to get your children here. I stand here to thank you, to appreciate you. Thank you very much for accepting to be trained, for accepting to be teachers, for wanting to train others, for wanting to be an educator. I appreciate all of you. I thank you for choosing this career. Thank you very much.
Earlier in her address, the provost of the college, Dr. Ifeinwo Sebo, thanked Governor Obiano for awarding the construction of the college perimeter fencing and the roads inside the college. Dr. Sebo, who listed some of the needs of the college to include conversion of the college to University of Education, building of hostels, and awarding scholarship to indigent students, also reeled out some of their achievements since inception, including construction of a science, vocational, and technical education office complex, procurement of a Hilux truck through TED Fund, organizing schools and colleges, conferences, among others.
My dear students, today is the day to reflect on your sojourn through this great institution for the past 3 or 4 years and on what lies ahead. The contemporary world is fraught with a plethora of problems, especially for the young generation.
In their goodwill messages, the Deputy Rector, Anambra State Polytechnic Mbakwu, Dr. Njideka Obiekeze, and Deputy Registrar of Federal College of Education Umunze, Dr. C.C. Ugwogo, congratulated the new graduates and wished them the best in their future endeavor. In an interview, the best overall graduating student, Mary Cynthia Mmaduchebe and Veronica Nwogu, thanked God for giving them the grace to scale through the rigors of studies and came out successfully.
I feel very happy. I feel really blessed today. I really thank God. I give him the glory because he's the one that made all these things to be possible in my life. I really thank him.
I'm so excited because I have received the award and it will make me to go further and further.
Excellence Award to the best graduating student as well as presentation of gifts to Governor Obiano formed the highlights of the event. Njireka Okoye, ABS News.
11 deacons have been made priests by the Anglican Bishop of Accra Diocese, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim. The Advent priestly ordination, which took place at the Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka, attracted all the bishops, legal luminaries, knights and leaders of the church, Anglican faithful, friends and well-wishers. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzokoye attended the service and now reports.
Right Reverend Ibezim, while ordaining the priests, tasked them to proclaim by word and did the gospel of Jesus Christ and to fashion their lives in accordance with its precepts. He told them to preach, declare God's forgiveness to penitent sinners, run the race of winning souls, and evangelize all nooks and crannies, as well as pray that the God will each day enlarge and enlighten their understanding on the scriptures so as to grow stronger in their ministries.
Who you present to us, that they are suitable and qualified in their learning and character to exercise their ministry to the honor of God and to the edifying of His church.
The preacher and retreatant, Right Reverend Sam Chukwuka, in a sermon titled "The Ministry of the Church is Receiving a Big Boom Today," said the ministry of the church is all about reconciliation and new relationship with one another, stating it is their duty to go and ensure that people are reconciled to God, for all have sinned against God.
To have a new relationship with God and with one another, to perform a mission for Christ.
In their separate speeches, some of the newly ordained, Reverend Dr. Humphrey Bosa, Reverend Emmanuel Ogugwa, and Reverend Sonny Okechukwu thank God for the elevation of their status in God's vineyard, stating that they will serve the Lord with all their hearts and strength, for their calling is unique, and thank Bishop Ibezim for finding them worthy.
My prayer is that the Lord God will keep blessing my bishop for this wonderful elevation. I think it's a challenge to me to now do that which cost my elevation, and that is to serve the Lord with all my strength.
The service featured swearing to the oath of allegiance against homosexuality, canonical obedience and submission, as well as special rendition by the choir from Cathedral Church of St. Faith, Oka. It's been Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
News from our national and foreign scene awaits you. Join us again after this time out.
Western Service presents Christmas Family Game Show. 4 families, 4 hot seats, 4 winners. Time 3 p.m. live on Christmas Day, Tuesday, 25th December 2018. Showing on ABS TV Channel 24 and Star Times 113. First prize, Plasma TV. Second, Standing Pan. Third, Christmas Hamper. Fourth, Pressing Iron. For inquiries, sponsorship and registration, call 0703 531 4457 or 0808 360 5617. Proudly sponsored by Great South Nigeria Limited, publisher of the Anambra Compendium.
Glad to have you back for the rest of the news. The Senate has ordered the Joint Committee on Police and Judiciary to investigate the rearrest of activist and founder of Concerned Nigerians, Deji Adeyanju, by the police. Adeyanju's rearrest was mentioned on the floor of the Senate by Senator Dino Melaye, representing Kegi West Senatorial District, where the activist hails from. He said that Deji is a pro-democracy activist and has been arrested twice by the Nigerian police for organizing protests in the defense of democracy. Senator Melaye regretted that the activist was arrested again by the police for a matter that took place 18 years ago and which he has been acquitted for. He asked the Senate to constitute a committee to look into the matter. His motion was seconded by Senator Emmanuel Polka, representing Bayelsa Central. The Senate President Bukola Saraki, while reacting, ordered the Joint Committee to report their findings to the Senate in 2 weeks. The traditional ruler of Nteje Oyikantu area, Igwe Rolando Debo, has advocated for justice for all victims of gender-based violence. Igwe Debo made this known in his palace when a non-governmental organization under the aegis of a coalition of Eastern NGOs, Sengos, paid him an advocacy visit in gender-based violence and sexual reproductive health rights. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzokoy was there and now reports.
The group displayed placards with inscriptions: "Stop rape, it is a dangerous act. Violence leads to death. Say no to early marriage. Sexual molestation and teenage pregnancy is evil," among others. Addressing the group, Igwe Debo, who is the coordinator of traditional rulers of Southeast on gender-based violence, sued for peace, understanding and endurance among couples so as to eschew domestic and gender-based violence which can lead to death or put the family in disarray. He disclosed that the traditional institutions have raised their voice against Osu caste system, early child marriage and other forms of violence meted against women in the society, stating that Ndigwe have taken it as a responsibility to spread the information and make laws in their various communities.
Domestic violence, rape, teenage pregnancy, discrimination on the ground of gender. Beating up women is against the law. Not just because they are weaker sex, because it's primitive.
The coordinator of the group, Barrister Shalin Waka, said as custodian of culture, the traditional rulers have vital roles to play in order to abolish gender-based violence in their various communities, and commended Igwe Debo for always showing concerns on the cause and said his experiences on gender-based violence will help him propagate the message.
We have the recent Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. This act on itself, prohibits all kind of violence against women and other persons, and also makes provision for compensation.
A member of the group, Professor Mercy Anibogu, has told Igwe Debo for joining hands with them in fighting the obnoxious practices in Southeast, noting that the situation of molestation on women is becoming high, and commended Governor Obiano for setting up rehabilitation centers and seeing to end gender-based violence in the state.
From what you have said this morning, you can see that Igwe Debo have been on the forefront of fighting the obnoxious practices within his community. Now, that of Southeastern State.
The group later went on campaign tour to Otocha Market, where they sensitized women, men and youth on positive attitude to life and to report any crime or violence against them. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
The Nigerian Export-Import Bank has entered into a $1 billion trade facilitation pact with the African Export-Import Bank for Nigeria and other West African countries. The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding is one of the high points of events during the inaugural Intra-African Trade Fair in Cairo, Egypt. A statement from Nexim Bank explained that the MOU will be implemented under the Nigerian-Africa Trade and Investment Promotion Program to support trade and investment flows between Nigeria and other African countries. Under the agreement, AfriZim will provide $1 billion line of credit, which will be disbursed by Nexim to qualifying beneficiary projects and transactions in support of intra-African trade and investments. Moroccan authorities have arrested a suspect in connection with the murder of two Scandinavian tourists in the High Atlas Mountains. The man was arrested in Marrakech, Morocco's largest tourist hub. Other suspects were being sought over the death of a woman, a Dane, and a Norwegian, whose bodies were found with cuts on their necks, the ministry said earlier today. The Danish victim, Louisa Vestareja Jespersen, age 24, had her throat cut. Danish newspaper BT cited her mother as saying her family had warned her against going to America because of the chaotic situation. Norwegian media named the other victim as 28-year-old Marin Eoland. And now sports. Michael Carrick, a former member of Manchester United and now a member of the coaching staff, is suspected to take charge in the interim, while a caretaker manager will be appointed until the end of the season after today's surprising sack of Jose Mourinho. Mourinho is leaving his job as Manchester United manager after 2.5 years in charge. The Portuguese, aged 55, won the FA Cup and the Europa League at Old Trafford, but United are sixth in the Premier League, 19 points behind leaders Liverpool, who beat them 3-1 on Sunday. That's just about it on the news, but before we go, a quick reminder that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any parts of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. The main points of the news again. NDLEA has arraigned 13 persons for marijuana possession in Oka. 70 indigent students have received scholarships for university education from Vector Ume Education Foundation. Senate has ordered police, Senate Committee on Judiciary to investigate Deji Adenuju's rearrest. And on the foreign scene, Morocco has arrested suspect connected with murder of 2 foreign tourists. That's the size of our package tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Chidimma Orangwa. Have a good night's rest.